Hi guys, and welcome to this short analysis that I'm gonna do on pound yen. So I did ask in the group to say, what asset do you want me to have a look at? And one guy suggested pound yen. So yeah, let's have a look and see where to start. So first things first, right? I always do this when I'm looking at minor pairs or pairs that do not involve the dollar. So everything starts with the macro perspective, right? So it has to begin with central banks, specifically the interest rates. So we all know interest rates are set to stimulate or instigate inflation in a country's economy. And that is basically what is in play at this moment in time in the markets. So with that said, right, when we look at the long-term macro perspective for the currency pair that has been suggested, which is pound yen, it's obvious the pairing is based on high versus low, and that concept of looking at high versus a low interest rate country uh, results in a currency pair that is fundamentally poised to move to the upside, right? So it's fundamentally poised for strength in relative terms against the yen. So pound is fundamentally poised to gain against the Japanese yen. Vice versa. Also, if it was a case of low versus high, so that would have been the opposite. So when we have a high versus low, fundamentally speaking, we're looking for that currency pair to go to the upside, right? Now, if we are anticipating, in this instance, pound to gain against the yen, what is it that we need to look out for? Already, we have seen here, pound has got what? Pound has got higher rates, 5.25% as compared to the yen with negative 0.1%. So with that in mind, right? With that in mind, we already have our forex pair that we are looking to trade. So what is it that we need to look out for? We need to look for strong support on higher time frame charts. That's basically on your MWD. And you need to wait for smart money clues that are going to show you that pound is being bought, right? Also, you have to use dollar index for directional confirmation. Now, how then do you use the dollar index for directional bias, right? So you already have a high versus low. So what you need to see is dollar has to be bearish for that concept to be more positive, to give you better odds in terms of your analysis. So for a high versus low, we need dollar to be bearish. We spoke about this, gentlemen, I think in week 2 or week 3 of the mentorship, whereby we say that if US dollar index is bearish, we need to buy the strongest versus the weakest foreign currency. How do you determine the foreign, the strongest? Country that has got higher interest rates is going to attract more investment. A country that has got lower interest rates, it's going to attract lesser investment. So that being said, with the pound versus yen giving us that equation, so we need to be in a position to see price trading into discount, which is our higher time frame support. And we also need to see sell side liquidity being ran before a move to upside, or price returning into fair value before a move to the upside. You see, so we need this type of market maker models, market maker buy models. That's what we'll be looking out for. So that being said, we've already established our fundamental directional bias for pound yen. We are going to be looking for longs from higher time frame support level, longs from discount areas. So now we're going to go to the futures chart for the pound, just to have an understanding on where the pound futures are trading, and also on where the yen futures is trading. So we got a monthly chart for the pound futures, and you can see price right now is trading at a higher time frame premium area, which is a bearish order block. If we go to the yen, you can see that price rejected from a higher time frame, also premium area, and it went south, right? Together, you can see the effect that it has had on pound yen. We have seen pound rallying to the upside. Yes, the pound futures, they're trading at a premium area, but pound is quite strong against the yen. Higher rate versus low rate. Looking for price to find support from a higher time frame discount area. And that's exactly what has happened at this moment in time on pound yen. So the next question you have to ask is, so where is pound headed to? Because right now we've traded from discount, from fair value, and we've rallied the past since the beginning of the year. Pound yen has traded to the upside, right? It has found support, most probably on a weekly or daily discount area, and then it pushes to the upside. So now we have reached a level where it's bound to find a bit of resistance there from the sellers. You know, these all-time highs, price will always find a bit of resistance. We saw that with gold, and we also saw it with USD/JPY. So with that in mind, at this moment in time, I don't think it's ideal to be a buyer on yen. I also don't think it's ideal to be a seller, irrespective that we are in a premium area. Why am I saying I don't think it's also good to be a seller? Because dollar is weak, right? And if dollar is weak and pound is in premium, that's not an ideal setup. We need dollar to continue being weak at a time when pound yen trades to a discount array. I hope you get that picture. So now, coming to our analysis, right? We can clearly see prices rallied back into premium. We cannot disregard that bearish OB, right? We cannot disregard it, but it doesn't mean we're going to trade from it, right? It's just for target. You see, whoever bought in lower time frame discount areas here, the target has been reached. So now we've got the high of November high. I'm just going to mark out these levels here. So we've got November high right there. And then to the downside, okay, let me go to the line chart quickly. To the downside, we've got this level here as a level of interest. That's basically the closing of that candle. I'm just going to go to the, I need the lowest price point, right? That's the lowest price point that we have after that expansion we saw. You see, the whole of last year, pound yen has been bullish, higher rate versus lower rate. So pound gaining against the yen, and that is likely to continue, right? So we now have a range. Why did I mark out this range. How did I come to a conclusion to say, okay, this is my range? With an initial expansion here, you see, directional bias that broke 1, 2 relatively equal highs. This one also here, and then it also closed this fair value gap, right? This fair value gap right here, right there. You see that fair value gap? Look how price eventually found support at the lower end. Once the gap was filled, price dipped to the downside and then it pushes up. Now, you have to understand that pound yen has got big ranges, right? It can move to 300 pips, just like that. So in terms of your points of interest, in terms of your PD areas, you just need to mark out the obvious. So we've got our old low and our old high. Below the old low, we've got fair value. Dollar has to be very strong for this fair value gap to be filled. Dollar has to be very strong, which is something that we are not anticipating anytime soon. Why am I saying dollar has to be strong? If dollar is strong, pound is going to lose against the Japanese yen, right? So when we go now to our weekly chart, right? So this is our weekly chart, control Y. Okay, let me just close there. So taking note of the levels that I've marked on the monthly chart, taking note of the levels that I've marked on the monthly chart, we still have our fair value gap here. This bullish break right here, this candle here, price will definitely be finding support once it trades back into that range. Right now, we've got a structure that's forming here, price failing to go further lower, right? That shows you that the bulls are in control. Now, on the weekly chart, you need to mark your obvious PD areas, levels where you're going to be anticipating to get into the markets for your long entries. And already we've got a high probability bullish order block. We've got a high probability bullish order block right there because it's accompanied by a fair value gap. That's why it's high probability. It's accompanied with a fair value gap. It's accompanied with a fair value gap that makes it a high probability. Now, with that said, with that in mind, you already have a level that you can be monitoring in terms of where to go long. You can see here, I've got this trend line that I've marked out. If you remember correctly, when I was just beginning the lesson, I drew something like this. This return to fair value is very important. Now, that's exactly what you should be anticipating when price comes back to this level, because that's what happened here. And that's what happened here on lower time frame. That's what happened here on lower time frame, say on daily and H4, ultimately even H1. So I'll be leaning towards looking for long entries on pound yen, but only when price trades back into a higher time frame support level, into a higher time frame discount area. And we've already marked 2 on the weekly chart. We've got our fair value gap there, and we've got our bullish order block, right? In terms of target, you're looking at these highs here, right? You're looking at one, let's see, you're looking at 188,655 as your ultimate target for long opportunities. When we go to the daily chart now, right? On the daily chart, right, with pound yen being so volatile in terms of movement, you're going to see that there's going to be further discount areas that you can use. But always try to use the ones that are inside the previous higher time frame, right? For instance, right here, this daily bullish order block here, the one I had marked, I won't really consider it. I'll only consider this fair value gap. You see, that fair value gap, you've got internal range liquidity of sell stops right here. You see, you've got internal range liquidity of sell stops right here. And once price trades to that level, you need to see the clues that are going to show you that smart money is buying the yen at this moment in time. How then do you see that? Further weakness in dollar, huge expansions in dollar to the downside. You're going to see pound yen reacting at those levels, right? We also have fair value gap right here, right? This fair value gap right there. See, those are the levels that I'll be considering to go long. The reason why I'm saying I'll consider those levels, it's not like I don't trade pound yen, guys. I have to be honest with you. I only look at majors. The reason why I'm saying if I'm to trade this currency pair is looking for levels that are together with the previous higher time frame level, because with pound yen, this thing can expand to the downside in one candle, right? Just like that, right? It can trade through these daily discount areas without even flinching, right? It can trade through and then only find support. Say now I'm on a daily, only to find support on the weekly higher time frame discount area. So longs are ideal on pound yen. Longs are ideal on pound yen, targeting 188.655. So I hope that that gives you a bit of an understanding, Brighton, in the way you're going to approach GBP JPY. Then we're also going to look, let's just have a brief look at Aussie dollar, right? So with Aussie dollar, I'm expecting price to move to the upside. I've already sent this on the group, and I'm expecting price to move to the upside. Though the setup that I've sent on the group is was basically for like scalps, and you can see it did move to the upside, but not much, right? It's a Monday. It didn't move to the upside much. It's a Monday and also bank holiday in America. We're not going to get much volume on this asset, but tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah, then you're going to see movement. So I'm anticipating this asset here to expand to the upside. So looking for price again to trade into discount for a further push to the upside. Right. So longs are ideal on Aussie dollar and NZD dollar. Longs are ideal on this asset here. So yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. I only got pound yen. Aussie dollar I only did it now because I received the message while I was already preparing for this session here. But be that as it may, was already anticipating Aussie dollar to go to the upside from the current levels. So yeah, I hope that gives you a bit of insight in how you can approach those two assets. And remember, we're still bullish on gold and we are bearish on dollar index. So yeah, I hope you picked up a few hints here and there, and I hope it has been insightful. I wish you guys good luck and happy trading, folks. And for those who haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be more active on YouTube this year. And I'll just be streaming live to avoid having to record the session and render the session. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe and make sure your notifications are on so that every time I go live, you get a notification and then you quickly join into the stream. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. So longs ideal on pound yen.